Alright, this is it, the last event of this year for UFC, with the main event of Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm making this video while I'm traveling, so the quality might be a little bit less than normal. There will be a total of 13 fights on this card, so let's start with the first one, which is a women's fight in the strawweight division between Piera Rodriguez from Venezuela, who's 32 years old, versus the 28-year-old Josefine Knutsson from Sweden. Josefine is the favorite with minus 240 in odds and Rodriguez the underdog with plus 195. Josephine is a big favorite in picks by the Tapology Community. 93% predict that she will win and only 7% predict that Rodriguez will win. And most believe this fight will go to the decision. Most of the UFC prediction channels on YouTube also predict Josefine Knutsson to win this fight. 42 out of 55 pick her to win, or 76%. And 13 out of those 55 pick Rodriguez to win, or 24%. And 5 out of 8 of the best predictors pick Josefine Knutsson to win and 3 out of 8 pick Rodriguez. Somewhere next week I will update the best predictors with the results over this whole year, so keep your eye out for that video. And for the people that are new to this channel, the best predictors are in green, with light green meaning 5% return of investment over the last 5 months and dark green meaning 10% or higher return of investment with their picks. For more information, there's a video link in the video description below. The second fight on this card is in the bantamweight division between Davey from the United Kingdom, who's 38 years old, and Ramon Taveras from the United States, who's 30 years old. And in average odds, this fight is basically a coin flip and it's almost as good as even. Although in picks by the Tapology Community, Ramon Taveras is the favorite and gets 66% of the picks and Grant 34%. And most of them suspect this fight will go to the decision. Taveras is also the favorite in picks by the YouTube prediction channels. 33 out of 56 or 59% predict that he will win, and 23 out of those 56 channels for 41% pick Davey Grant. And Ramon is also a favorite by the best predictors. 7 out of 9 pick him to win and 2 out of 9 pick Grant. Next up is a women's fight in the flyweight division between Miranda Maverick from the United States, who's 27 years old, and Jamey-Lyn Horth from Canada, who's 34 years old. Miranda Maverick is a huge favorite with minus 575 in average odds and Jamey-Lyn Horth a big underdog with plus 405. And Miranda Maverick is also a huge favorite in picks by the Tapology Community. 94% think that she will win and only 6% predict that Horth will win. And most think this fight will go to the decision. And Maverick is again a huge favorite in picks by the UFC Prediction Channels. 53 out of 54 or 98% pick her to win, and only one channel is brave enough to pick Jamey-Lyn Horth, which is Ben Duffy from Sherdog.com. The next fight is in the bantamweight division between Miles Johns from the United States, who's 30 years old, and Felipe Lima from Brazil, who's 26 years old. Felipe Lima is the favorite with minus 255 in average odds, and Miles Johns the underdog with plus 200. 84% of the Tapology Community predict Felipe Lima to win and only 16% pick Johns. And most are predicting that if Lima wins, he will win via a submission. And he's also a big favorite in picks by the UFC prediction channels. 48 out of 55 or 87% pick Felipe Lima to win and only 7 channels pick Miles Johns. And of the best predictors over the last 5 months, Felipe Lima is also again a big favorite. 8 out of 9 pick him to win and 1 out of 9 is picking Miles Johns. The next fight is in the featherweight division between Sean Woodson from the United States, who's 32 years old, and Fernando Padilla from Mexico, who's 27 years old. In average odds, Woodson is the slight favorite with minus 155 and Padilla the underdog with plus 130. And Woodson is a pretty big favorite in picks by the Tapology Community. 88% predict him to win and only 12% pick Padilla to win. And 39 channels out of 57 pick Woodson to win for 68% and 18 channels or 32% pick Padilla to win. But in picks from the best channels over the last 5 months, Padilla is the favorite. 5 out of 9 pick him to win and 4 out of 9 pick Woodson to win. Then we have a fight in the lightweight division between Drakkar Klose from the United States, who's 36 years old, and Joel Alvarez from Spain, who's 31 years old. And Joel Alvarez is a pretty big favorite with minus 445 in average odds, and Drakkar the underdog with plus 330. And Alvarez is also a big favorite in picks by the Tapology community. 90% predict him to win and only 10% pick Klose to win. And most of them think that if Joel Alvarez wins, he will win via KO or TKO. And in picks by the UFC Prediction Channels on YouTube, Joel Alvarez is also a huge favorite. 55 channels out of 58 or 95% predict him to win, and only 3 channels out of those 58 predict that Drakkar Klose wins. The 7th fight of this evening is between Michael Johnson from the United States, who's 38 years old, and Ottman Asaitar from Morocco, who's 34 years old. Michael Johnson is the favorite over Ottman with minus 220 in odds, and Ottman the underdog with plus 175. 73% of the Tapology community predict that Johnson will win via KO or TKO or via decision, and 27% predict that Ottman wins, and if he wins, it will be via KO or TKO mostly. And the prediction channels on YouTube also favor Michael Johnson to win. 46 out of 56 pick him to win, and only 10 channels predict Ottman Asaitar to win. And of the best prediction channels, 7 out of 9 pick Michael, and only 2 out of 9 pick Ottman. The next fight is in the light heavyweight division between Avoyo Sterling from New Zealand, who is 27 years old, and Tuco Tokos from the United Kingdom, who's 34 years old. And Avoyo Sterling is the biggest favorite on this card with minus 735 in average odds, and Tuco the biggest underdog with plus 500. And Sterling is also the biggest favorite in picks by the Tapology community. 95% predict him to win, and that if he wins it will be via KO or TKO, and only 5% predict Tuco to win. And we see the same results with the prediction channels on YouTube. 55 out of 56 or 98% pick Avoyo Sterling to win, and only one channel, which is Utica from Bros Talk MMA, is picking Tokos to win. Then we go to the bantamweight division for a fight between Daniel Marquez from Peru, who's 31 years old, and Adrian Yanez from the United States, who's also 31 years old. Marcos is the favorite in average odds with minus 215, and Yanez the underdog with plus 170. 61% of the Tapology community predict that Marcos will win, and 39% pick Yanez to win. And most of them predict this fight will go to the decision. In picks by the UFC Prediction Channels, Daniel Marquez is also the favorite. 39 out of 59 or 66% pick him to win, and 20 out of those 59 pick Adrian Yanez to win for 34%. But when we look at the best prediction channels over the last 5 months, Adrian Yanez is a slight favorite with 5 out of 9 picking him to win, and 4 out of 9 picking Daniel Marquez to win. The next fight is in the light heavyweight division between Dustin Jacoby from the United States, who's 36 years old, and Vitor Petrino from Brazil, who's 27 years old. And Petrino is a pretty big favorite with minus 320 in average odds, and the underdog is Dustin Jacoby with plus 245. And Petrino is also a big favorite in picks by the Tapology community. 86% predict him to win, and most of them think it will be via KO or TKO. And 14% pick Dustin Jacoby to win. We see the same result in picks by the UFC Prediction Channels. 52 out of 58 or 90% pick Petrino to win this fight, and 6 channels out of 58 pick Dustin Jacoby. Next is a fight in the flyweight division between Manel Kape from Portugal, who's 31 years old, and Bruno Silva from Brazil, who's 34 years old. And Manel is the big favorite with minus 385, and Bruno Silva the underdog with plus 290. 88% of the Tapology community predict Manel Kape to win, and only 12% pick Bruno Silva. And we see the same results in picks by the UFC Prediction Channels. 49 out of 56 pick Manel Kape to win for 88%, and 7 out of 56 pick Bruno Silva. And all of the best prediction channels pick Manel Kape to win. The co-main event of the evening is in the featherweight division between Swanson from the United States, who's 41 years old, and Billy Quarantillo from the United States as well, who's 36 years old. And Billy is the slight favorite with minus 160, and Kape the underdog with plus 130. But in picks by the Tapology community, Swanson is the favorite with 52% of all people predicting him to win and 48% are picking Billy. And most predict this fight will end via decision. Billy is the favorite in picks by the UFC Prediction Channels on YouTube. 33 channels out of 59 or 56% pick him to win and 26 channels out of 59 or 44% pick Kape Swanson to win. And of the best prediction channels, 6 out of 9 pick Billy to win and 3 out of 9 pick Kape Swanson to win. And then the final fight of this year and on this card is of course between Colby Covington from the United States, who's 36 years old, and Joaquin Buckley, also from the United States, who's 30 years old, in the welterweight division. And Buckley is the favorite in average odds with minus 280 and Colby Covington the underdog with plus 220. 75% of the people on the Tapology community predict Buckley to win via KO or TKO and 25% predict Colby Covington to win. And in picks by the UFC Prediction Channels on YouTube we see the same percentages as well. 44 channels out of 59 or 75% pick Buckley to win and 15 out of 59 or 25% pick Colby Covington to win. And of the best channels, 6 out of 9 pick Buckley and 3 out of 9 pick Colby Covington. That was it for this preview video, which I made a little bit quicker than normal because I have less time. I'm on a holiday. Anyways, thanks for watching, enjoy the fights, have a great weekend, and I see you all in the results video this Sunday.